We'll see what happens with Bagram. We're talking to Afghanistan.
In a dramatic escalation of tensions, the Taliban has firmly rejected current U.S. President Donald Trump's demand to return control of Bagram Airbase, a pivotal military facility that has been at the center of geopolitics for nearly 2 decades. Located just 64 kilometers north of Kabul, Bagram has long been considered a strategic prize, with its proximity to key regional actors like China and Pakistan, making it one of the most valuable assets in the region. The base was previously a cornerstone of U.S. military operations in Afghanistan, and its abandonment in 2021 during the chaotic U.S. withdrawal marked a significant turning point in the long and fraught history of American involvement in the country. However, now in 2025, Bagram remains in the hands of the Taliban, and its importance has not waned. The Taliban's refusal to give it back has reignited tensions and has set the stage for a new round of diplomatic and military maneuvering between the U.S. and the Taliban, leaving the international community on edge. On September 20th, 2025, current President Trump took to social media to issue a stark warning to Afghanistan, saying, "Bad things are going to happen unless the U.S. is allowed to retake Bagram." His message was unequivocal and direct, drawing attention to what he saw as a critical failure of the Biden administration in the handling of the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. Trump's demand to reclaim the base highlights the ongoing frustrations of the U.S. political establishment with the aftermath of the 2021 pullout. In his statement, Trump argued that the U.S. should never have left Bagram to the Taliban, stressing that the base's strategic value was too important for it to remain under the control of a regime that he believes still harbors terrorism and instability. His comments have drawn significant attention, not only within the United States, but also among global leaders and analysts, who are now grappling with the consequences of this new call for military action. The Taliban, however, wasted no time in issuing a sharp rebuttal. Zabihullah Mujahid, the Taliban's spokesperson, responded with a firm rejection of Trump's demand. He reaffirmed that Afghanistan's sovereignty was not up for negotiation and reminded the world that the Taliban had no intention of handing over Bagram or any other part of Afghan territory. Mujahid specifically referenced the Doha Agreement, the historic peace deal brokered between the Taliban and the United States in 2020, which laid out the terms for the U.S. withdrawal and prohibited the U.S. from interfering in Afghanistan's internal affairs. According to Mujahid, Trump's comments violated the principles of that agreement, which had promised the Taliban the right to govern Afghanistan without external interference. Not 1 inch of Afghan soil will be ceded to foreign powers, Mujahid declared, underscoring the Taliban's commitment to protecting the country's sovereignty at all costs. This statement is not just a rejection of Trump's call, but a clear declaration that the Taliban considers any foreign attempt to control Afghan territory as a violation of their hard-won independence. The significance of the Taliban's stance on Bagram cannot be overstated. Since taking control of the airbase in 2021, the Taliban has used it as a symbol of their victory over the U.S. and their refusal to be pushed around by foreign powers. Bagram, once a key asset for U.S. military operations, has now become a symbol of the Taliban's resolve to govern Afghanistan without any outside interference. For the Taliban, the base represents more than just a military installation. It is a tangible expression of their authority over Afghanistan's future. With Bagram under their control, the Taliban can use it to monitor regional developments, especially those involving neighboring countries like China and Pakistan, whose interests in Afghanistan are closely tied to the base's strategic location. The U.S., which has long viewed the region as a critical battleground in its rivalry with China in Afghanistan's political and military affairs. Trump's demand to regain control of Bagram comes at a time when tensions between the U.S. and China have escalated, with the two powers locked in a high-stakes competition for influence in Asia. The base's proximity to China's nuclear facilities and Pakistan's border makes it a key site for surveillance and intelligence gathering. Trump has consistently argued that Bagram's location offers the US a strategic edge in monitoring both China's and Pakistan's military activities, particularly in light of the growing tensions in the Indo-Pacific region. In his statement, Trump alluded to the importance of Bagram in countering China's increasing military presence in the region, suggesting that its control is crucial for maintaining US influence in Central Asia. Regaining Bagram, according to Trump, would allow the US to keep a close watch on China's military operations and potentially disrupt their activities. The former president's call for action on Bagram, therefore, is not only a matter of territorial control, but also a larger attempt to reassert US dominance in a region that is becoming increasingly important to global security and economic interests. Despite Trump's call to retake Bagram, the Taliban's refusal to negotiate over the base could complicate any future talks between the US and the Taliban. Although the two sides have engaged in various negotiations since the Doha Agreement, Bagram has remained a sticking point. Even as both sides continue to disagree on key issues, such as counterterrorism operations and the treatment of women in Afghanistan, the Taliban's decision to hold firm on Bagram is likely to strain these relations even further. With Trump's call for action now adding pressure to the situation, the question remains whether the Taliban will be able to maintain control of the base in the face of international pressure, or whether this standoff will mark the beginning of a new phase of US-Taliban relations, one that could see further military or diplomatic confrontations. As the situation develops, the world will be watching closely. The implications of this standoff extend far beyond Bagram itself, touching on broader issues of global security, the future of Afghanistan, and the shifting balance of power in Central Asia. For the US, losing Bagram to the Taliban represents a significant blow to its influence in the region, and Trump's demand to regain control of the base is a reflection of the ongoing dissatisfaction with the way the withdrawal from Afghanistan was handled. For the Taliban, Bagram represents not just military control, but national pride and independence. The base is now a symbol of their sovereignty, and their refusal to relinquish it signals their commitment to an Afghan future free from foreign intervention. As both sides stake their claims over Bagram, it's clear that the standoff is far from over, and the international community will be watching closely to see how this geopolitical drama unfolds. In the coming weeks and months, the situation at Bagram could become one of the most closely watched flashpoints in international relations. As the US and Taliban continue to clash over the future of Afghanistan, the world will be forced to reckon with the consequences of this ongoing power struggle. Will the US eventually force the Taliban to relinquish control of Bagram, or will the Taliban emerge victorious, solidifying their control over the airbase and the future of Afghanistan itself? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: Bagram is no longer just an airbase. It is a symbol of the shifting geopolitical dynamics in a world where power is increasingly defined by strategic assets like this one. If you found this analysis helpful and want to stay updated on the latest developments in this story and other global affairs, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss an important update. We'll be keeping you informed with in-depth reports and breaking news as it happens. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more insightful content.